Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, I'm tired and we are just starting out. We are on an adventure today and I will tell you all about it. As soon as you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. Yeah, y'all, we are obviously headed oot and a boot. We got to go run some errands. I got to pick up my prescription refills. I got to get some groceries. We got all kinds of things to do, but I tell you what I really want to do is I want to talk about some spring things. Y'all, it is fun. Well, it's kind of, can y'all see? It's kind of spring here in the Northland. Look right here. You can see these trees are finally starting to bud. It seems like the snow is finally gone. Well, the snow's gone, but it seems like it's finally going to stop snowing. So we're going to call this actual spring, not fake spring 1, or which we didn't fall for fake spring 1, but y'all remember I fell for fake spring 2. Then we got 18 inches of snow. Well, I'm going to call this actual spring. So I tell you what, let me run and get my prescriptions. Let me grab some groceries. I will meet y'all back at the house. We will haul the groceries and then we are going to make some springy things. All right, so let me do this and I will meet y'all back at the house. All right, y'all, we have groceries. See? Now I was thinking that I would drag them all out and like arrange them on the counter and get them organized. And then we could talk about them in like an orderly fashion. I know. Y'all stop laughing, roll your eyes back in your head because I came to my senses. And it's not really all that big of a haul anyway, so let's just haul these out of the bag. So let me go through these, show you what I got, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna make. I'm gonna try to do this without being overly rattly. I got some Egg Life wraps. These, I know y'all know, 0 points. So they're kind of like you can use them like tortillas, roll stuff up, but they're 0 points. And they're made of egg whites, so they're a little bit weird, but they're 0 points. Let me turn y'all a little bit. Hang on. There we go. They're 0 points. So for me, 0 points sort of like buys you some leeway and some weirdness. So Egg Life wraps. I got a cantaloupe, which the intern will eat cantaloupe. So when they're in season and, okay, when I remember to buy one, I try to keep them chopped up in the fridge because then, y'all remember, we like squirrel bait him, right? Like I'll cut up apples and leave them sitting around for him to eat. Well, that's another squirrel bait for him. If I have cantaloupe cut up and ready to go in the fridge to where he just has to grab it and like stick it in his face hole, he'll eat cantaloupe. So I got a cantaloupe, I got some bananas, I got cucumbers because they were on sale. I got avocados. Because I never get avocados. So I thought maybe we could make something springy with some avocados. This is so rattly. I'm so sorry. Basil. And y'all, I accidentally got 2 basils, but that's okay because I got the fresh basil and I got the squeezy basil. And y'all know I love squeezy basil. So this will last forever. And I use basil kind of a little bit of a lot. So I'll use obviously the fresh basil to make something and then the squeezy basil we'll just keep for when we need basil later. I got the Love and Fresh carb control, like the big sort of like taco sized torts. I can usually feed let me move this bag, hang on. I can usually feed these to the intern because they like pass for a regular tort, so I'll just put them in a regular Ziploc bag and he doesn't realize that they're low carb and he'll eat them. Y'all, I am evil. Got some meats. I got 96% lean ground beef because y'all know that the intern thinks that ground turkey is zombie brains. So anything that I think the intern might eat, I'll make with super lean hamburger. Or if like he's not going to eat it, or if I'm just making something for me, I'll use turkey. Y'all know the story about, y'all might not know this story. Hang on, let me find my coffee. So one time, I was making, so one time, I was making meatballs, and it was a Sunday, and I told the intern we were having meatballs for dinner, and he's like, oh, okay. Well, he was off, playing video games, killing guys, whatever. He was paying 0 mind to what I was making. So I made meatballs out of ground turkey. And I made a really nice beef gravy to go over them with like better than bouillon, beef bouillon, and like cooked it down, and it was really nice. So I served him some ground turkey meatballs with beef gravy with, y'all know those little one serving or like single size serving mashed potatoes that I keep around to feed to the intern. So I had that with the gravy and the meatballs. And I don't even think he tried a meatball. I think he just looked at it and was like, what are we eating again? And I said, meatballs. Like all innocent, like I knew I was busted, like all innocent meatballs. And he said, meat balls? And I said, yeah, meatballs. Those are meatballs. I mean, it's turkey. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I think I'm just going to have something else. Well, I halfway knew something, was not going to go right. So I had leftover. So we had leftover, like, steak or something in the fridge that I could feed him just on the off chance that maybe he didn't fall for my turkey meatballs. So ever since then, y'all, he won't even, I'll take that back. Every once in a while, if I'm eating something that's like a really thick stew that has ground turkey in it or something, maybe he'll take a bite, but otherwise he is not having none of that zombie brain. So totally my fault. I ruined zombie brains for the intern. So yeah, anyway, I tell that entire story to say that I have something kind of brewing in my brain that I'm going to try, and the intern might like it. So I'm going to make it with very lean ground beef instead of my 0-point turkey. And I think, I'll have to look. I'll let y'all know later. But I think, well, I could let you know right here. I think this is 3 points per ounce, I think, but I will correct myself here if I am not right. Big old can of crushed tomatoes and some tomato sauce, which y'all, I just realized I did not check for sugar in these. So, and we know better, we know to check for sugar, but these are from Aldi, which isn't where I normally shop, so they're not my normal brands, but I will check those. And if they have sugar, I will calculate it into my recipes. So that's it. Hang on, gotta move a bag. I got protein pasta. Remember we used the chickpea pasta, the Banza pasta or whatever it was called, that I could not get that in my head because it just did not click that Banza was for garbanzo beans. Anyway, this is actual wheat pasta. I don't think I even tried to feed that one to the intern because he doesn't like chickpeas. So I wasn't going to make like a whole thing. Okay, I made a whole thing with turkey meatballs one time and it didn't work out. Y'all get off me. But I wasn't going to make like a whole pasta dish with chickpea pasta because he doesn't like chickpeas. But I am going to try to get this past him. It's past him. I don't know why I feel like I just said pasta instead of pasta. Get this pasta past him. So it's a high protein. It's 21 grams of protein, I think, per 3.5 ounce serving. And it's made with wheat. It's like real wheat pasta. So I'm going to try this in whatever it is that I end up making. What else did we get? I got Brussels sprouts, which, do y'all find that people are either like 100% pro or 100% con Brussels sprouts? Like, I feel like that's one of, I have a friend, my friend Grimskull calls Brussels sprouts the devil's eyeballs. I think he would be on the con side of the Brussels sprout debate. Lemons. Nobody doesn't like lemons. Asparagus. Excite for that fresh asparagus. I'm almost done, y'all. So I ordered those little mission torts that I like, but they were out. So they subbed the sun-dried tomato basil ones, which would be nice, except I also ordered sun-dried tomato basil ones. So I got 2 of these. Because somebody, y'all, I'm so sorry, I cannot remember who it was, but told me in the chat that these existed. Thank you so much. We're now best friends because yum, and now I have a lot of them. Got some broccoli. I'm chopping broccoli. And this is going to cause an uproar if the felons hear. The felons heard this. I got beans for the felons, and that's it. So y'all, let me get these groceries put away, even though, well, I guess the meat needs to be put up. I got one more thing. Hang on. I forgot I stuck these straight in the freezer. I got the little mini, y'all know how the intern loves these. the little mini sandwich cookies. They're 60 calories per serving. And y'all, the intern has enough self-control that he can eat one little, they're like this big, like as big as a quarter. He can eat one of these and then not eat the whole tray of them, not one tray, eat one little sandwich cookie and then put the rest of them away. I ain't got that kind of control. It's not that kind of party for me. So I don't eat these, but the intern loves them and I can only get them usually at Aldi. At least of the places I shop, Aldi is the only one that carries these. So I got the intern some of these. So I'm gonna put these back in the freezer. I'm gonna put the groceries up and then I will come back and we'll talk about some things. Y'all, we gotta talk about, I'm embarrassed to even say the word sweat. So I'm gonna say glowing because ladies glow. We got to talk about the glow. So I'll be back. We'll talk about some things. And then we got to do some things. We'll make some things. But let me put up the groceries and I'll be back. So y'all sit tight. All right, y'all, groceries are put up. So let's get into some stuff here. First of all, let me give you a little update on my Peloton saga. If you missed it last week, and we're not going to get all up into it again, but last week I talked about how y'all know I'm a little competitive and how I have this like competition going on in my head between me and my other friends on the Peloton platform. I was going to say Peloton bike, but on the Peloton platform. And we all do the Peloton monthly cycling challenge and we can see each other and see like how many miles each person has ridden in a month. And I want to be the most. Well, for a while I was the most, and then Longhorn David came on the scene and I was still the most, but I wasn't the most by much. So I started riding not more but harder, like actually working out during my rides. So that's all good. I'm, still the most, but Peloton David has not been on the scene yet. Now, I could be like truly stalkerific and go in because I follow him. I could go see what his workouts have looked like and how many miles he's done. I'm not going to say that I'm above doing that. I'm just going to say that I don't know what his total is right now. So I just feel a need to continue to push myself to stay ahead so that when he does jump into the competition, I'm still winning. So I know y'all are like, she's insane. And I'm not saying that this is like the most stable approach to exercise, but y'all, I truly do believe, and this is so cheesy, but that is it steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron, whatever it is, hard things sharpen other hard things, right? So if you want to be better at something, you need to associate with people who are better at them than you are, so they'll push you. So that's what I'm doing. So anyway, the point of all that is, y'all, I said before I wasn't going to talk about sweating, we're going to talk about glowing, but oh my word, have I been glowing through my workouts? Which, I mean, it's all, it's whatever. I work out by myself, so nobody, experiences the glowing but me. But here's the deal. I noticed that I was starting to get muscle cramps, and I was like, I wonder, and I don't drink electrolyte drinks. I don't do any kind of electrolyte stuff. And I was like, I wonder if I'm just sweating out all my good stuff and need some kind of like replenishing thing. Well, I know I don't like Gatorade. At least I don't like 1980s Gatorade because it was too salty for me. Well, the intern, and I don't know why I feel like Gatorade's the only one. Somehow that just came to my brain. I don't like the taste of artificial sweetener at all. So aside from feeling like I don't want to deal with the deleterious, is that the word? Like the negative health effects of those things. And I just don't like them. So I'm not drinking that stuff. Well, the intern had these, which let's get into why the intern is drinking these, and I had looked at them when he first got them and it's like straight up good electrolyte stuff. So I was like, well, I'll try these. And I checked and they're 0 points. So, or these might be 1 point. I think they're 0 points. Maybe we'll just even say they're 1 point. What just happened there? So I drank a few of these and they're like it's the tablets you drop on. You can see like the little picture right there. Can you see that? You drop them in the bottle of water and they fizz. Well, y'all, they taste like 1970s. Remember Broma Seltzer? I know those of us of a certain age, that stuff you would like mix, it fizzed and you mixed it and you drank it when you had a tummy ache. These taste like that to me. Well, they have a flavor. These are berry or something, strawberry lemonade, but I just have that like Broma Seltzer taste when I drink these, which is whatever. I just slam them down. It's only 16 ounces. But I did a few days of these, and y'all, it was really my feet that were cramping. I don't know why I feel embarrassed to say I get feet cramps, but like it was so bad one day. I took a nap on a Saturday, and the dogs were in the bed with me, and my feet had been, my right foot was cramping when I was riding the bike. Well, then it stopped, did whatever I was doing, got in the bed, and I must have caught a foot cramp when I was sleeping, and I must have kicked because I woke up, like, I mean, y'all, I was like, I'd been up since 2 o'clock in the morning, so I took a nap because I knew I was going to be helping a friend with an interview later that afternoon. So I was going to have to stay up like until like grown-up people hours, not go to bed early like I usually do when I'm up early in the morning. So like I was like dead to the world sleeping, and something like didn't wake me up, but like I became moderately aware, and then I feel this like little puppy arm come across my leg. So I think what happened was, I think I caught a foot cramp and kicked, and it woke Bo up, and Bo was like, "Hey, you okay?" and put his little like puppy hand on me to be like, "What are you doing over there?" So anyway, I tell all that to say that I was getting foot cramps. Well, then I started drinking these, and after like 2 days of drinking one, you're supposed to do 3 of these a day, I was like, I'm not doing all that. Well, 1 of these a day helped my foot cramps. And y'all, I'm not sponsored by these. I'm not even linking these in the chat because I'm not endorsing them. I don't know nearly enough about them to say that you should drink them. I'm actually here to ask y'all what you think. Do y'all have any kind of electrolyte drinks that you drink and like? Like I said, I tried these. It had that Broma seltzer like feel to it. So then I figured it was the fizzy in it that I didn't like whatever it is that makes it fizzy. So then I got the little like tube packets. And the one that I got was orange. It's all out orange. It's their new flavor. And y'all, this is like Tang. So I've been slamming 16 ounces of Tang. I think maybe I've done 2 days of these, and they taste much better, and still no foot cramps. So I'm gonna stay with my noon plan. That's what these are, they're noon. I'm gonna continue to use these to try to deal with my sweating out all of the good things in my body. But if y'all have any kind of electrolyte drinks that you recommend, even if you don't know the Weight Watchers, like these are 0 points. So even if you don't know the Weight Watchers points of them, let me know in the comments which ones you recommend, and I'll do the research on them. But yeah, like I've never done them before, so I never did any. I was just like, oh, I'm too cool for school for that. Apparently not anymore. So anyway, that's that. Let's stop talking about sweat because, ew. Let's talk about foods. Y'all, I want to grill some things. And the weather is starting to look a little dicey, but we're going to grill anyway. In the upper Midwest, I have learned in my decade and a half here that we don't necessarily do things to celebrate or enjoy the weather. We do things in spite of the weather. And we going to grill come hell or high water. I mean, it's not that serious, but we going to grill rain or shine. So here's what I'm thinking. I don't know why I have this in my brain, but I want to grill some Brussels sprouts. And I have heard that you can take tin foil and make like a little package out of your tin foil and put like Brussels sprouts and onions and season them up a bit inside your little tin foil package and grill them for like 25 minutes, and that they come out all yummy and tasty and stuff. So I'm going to grill me some devil's eyeballs in a little tin foil package. We'll see how that comes out. And I want to do some asparagus. So here's what I'm thinking. Have y'all ever used these? I've had this. I think my mom bought me, did my mom buy me these, or did I buy them and she made fun of me, so then I loved them and bought her some? I can't remember, but either way, they're these little like mesh packages, like envelopes, and I know y'all can't feel it, but they're like kind of waxy feeling, and you put your food in them and you put it on the grill, and you can like flip them about and move them all over, and your stuff doesn't fall out. I love these, y'all. So I'm going to throw some stuff in here, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is some asparagus and maybe some shrimp. And I'm not going to do a whole bunch of stuff. I've done multiple things in here at a time before, and you have to make sure that either your things cook at the same, like the same rate, like they're gonna be done at the same time, or you got to put them in the right order. And y'all, it's too early in grilling season for me to be like all fancy like that. So I think I'm just gonna do asparagus. I almost said asparagus and grits. I don't know where grits got in my brain. And if I said grits before, I did not mean grits. I'm not gonna try to grill grits. Shrimp. I'm gonna do asparagus and shrimp in here. And I'm gonna do a little tinfoil envelope of Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna get those going, but first, y'all know it. I'm gonna take a second and let you say it. Yeah, I gotta do a workout. So I'm gonna go do a workout, and then I'm gonna make these. I totally forgot. Y'all hang on. Time out, hang on 1 second. I 100% totally forgot that this morning, I had a class that canceled, which gave me an extra 50, like 50, not 15, 50 minutes of like time to do stuff. So I thawed out some chicken, sorry, and I marinated it. I'm gonna dump it, I marinated it in a Greek yogurt bowl. And it is here, and I'm gonna grill it, y'all. Let me tell you what I did. So, like I said, I took a package of chicken tenderloins out of the freezer, threw them in some probably hotter than, I mean, I know you should thaw things either in the fridge or in cool water. Well, I thawed it in hot water. And here's the theory on that. When you thaw stuff, you need to keep meat and all food out of that danger zone, which is it 40 to 140 degrees or something? Well, that's the problem with thawing in warm water, is you get the food warm and it stays in that danger zone where bacteria grows. When I thaw things in warm water, I only do it when I'm gonna thaw it, and then as soon as it thaws, I'm gonna do something with it, like marinate it, put it in the fridge, cook it, something. So I'm not saying you should do that. I am not like suggesting you follow my bad habits, but that's how I do it, so that I've yet to actually give myself botulism. So I thawed my chicken in warm water because I knew I had to do it quickly. So I took it out of the freezer, threw it in some warm water, thawed it, and then threw it in that Greek yogurt container with some soy sauce, rice vinegar, and toasted sesame oil. Mixed that in with some minced ginger, minced garlic, and a little bit of salt, shook it up and stuck it in the fridge. And it's been sitting in the fridge for about 6 hours. So now, well, I should probably just stick it back in the fridge because I'm gonna work out first and then grill it. But now I'm gonna grill it. And y'all, I think that's one of those, like if you have to throw something together quickly in the morning and then run out to work and then like make it when you get home, or like make it before you run and take the kids to softball, t-ball, basketball, soccer, your intern has to go to volleyball up the street, whatever it is. It's one of those, like you can start it in the morning and then throw it together when you get home, and it's an easy peasy meal. So I'm gonna grill Brussels sprouts in a tinfoil envelope. I'm gonna put my asparagus and shrimp in my this, and I'm gonna grill these chicken tenders after I do my workout, and I will be back and we'll taste all this stuff and I'll let y'all know how it goes. So y'all sit tight and I'll be back.
So desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to live. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for.
All right, y'all, the grilling's done. I dipped everything up and brought it in and just kind of stuck it, well, the chicken I stuck in a bowl as I took it off the grill. The shrimp and asparagus I dumped out of the envelope, the grilling envelope, into a bowl so that I didn't burn myself on camera, because I'm forever forgetting that those snaps on there are metal, and I touch them and I burn myself. So that's those. Let's get into these Brussels sprouts and see I don't know if y'all can see this, but the edge is looking a little brownish, so I'm wondering if that might have gone a little wrong. Oh, and can y'all see over there? I made something on the stove before I did my workout. So I did that, I worked out, and then I grilled, and now we're here. So here's the grillins. Oh yeah. So these are looking a little extra crispy. So I got a little distracted with all my other grillins, and I didn't move these around at all. I just left them set on the grill, so I'm thinking they might have gotten a little, oh, can y'all see that? Here, hang on. They might have gotten a little, maybe I could do there, I can just pick it up. They might have gotten a little overly crispy on one side, but I'm gonna eat one just to see. So let me grab a little plate. And let's put some things together, and we'll do a little taste test. So let's get some chicken. That came out looking really nice. Some shrimp. And y'all, these, I don't need that much shrimp. These cooked really quickly. And then let's grab a Brussels. So we'll try these. Let me get like a real size. Ooh, y'all, I know y'all can probably see the char. It smells charred. I'm gonna try to get one that might actually have some taste to it so I can at least give you an idea. So for the shrimp, I just thawed it, tossed it in a bowl with regular olive oil and some everything but the kitchen sink seasoning, and mixed that up good, and then tossed some Daisy. And then tossed some asparagus in there, and then shoved it in the grilling envelope and tried to like level it out as much as I could so that there was like even heatness all around it. And then the chicken we already talked about, and then the Brussels sprouts, I'd halved them and then tossed them with some toasted sesame oil and I think just a little salt and pepper. And then some onion, which the onion just did not hold up well at all. I just burned the snot out of these. But all right, so let's try some stuff. Let's try the shrimp first. Very good, very tender. I didn't put much seasoning at all on those, and they're very lightly seasoned, very, very tender. Those might have cooked for 5 minutes all in, like a little bit on one side, flip them over, a little bit on the other side, they were done. My concern is this. I know y'all can hear that crunching, sorry. The asparagus is definitely al dente, which is fine with me. I like it that way. It's very, very tasty. But obviously just be aware, y'all, I highly recommend those like grilling envelope package things. So easy. Just spray them with Pam or whatever your non-stick cooking spray is. Throw your stuff in them, and then I have a scrub brush that I use at the sink. I just scrub them down after I cook in them. Comes clean, super easy. And it's just real easy, very, very convenient. Let's try this chicken. Very good, very tender, very juicy. Now, I should have used actual chicken breast to test that, but y'all know what freaking chicken breast is like when you slice it up and grill it. Those are tenderloins, which, remember the intern bought me those, like the fancy chicken? So good. Very tender, very juicy. And that combination of soy sauce with rice vinegar and toasted sesame oil is so flavorful. Just a little bit of ginger, a little bit of garlic. Very, very good. So those are good. This is not going to be good, y'all. I know this isn't going to be good because I burned the snot out of it. But yeah, it's not good. But I cooked it for about 20 minutes, maybe 22 minutes. I think if I had shaken the thing so that they moved around, one, I wouldn't have charred it. And they're just a little bit overcooked. And that, y'all, that grill gets so, so hot. So what I did was, like, I had the whole grill fired up, and then I cut one side down for the shrimps and stuff, which, duh. So I think I do like that way of cooking the Brussels sprouts, not necessarily like cooking them to like Satan temperature, but move them around. Maybe come back off the time a little bit, like 18 minutes, so that they're like past al dente, like they're past done. Other than that, they're charred. Y'all stop being smarty pantses, but they're mushy. So maybe 18 minutes, shake them a bit. Like if I'd have shaken those when I was out there cooking the other stuff, I think they would have been fine. And just a little bit overcooked. And they need more seasoning. They're very, very bland, even though they're like fresh Brussels sprouts. So I do not think that's a completely failed experiment, because I think that's like a good kind of starting point for grilling Brussels sprouts. So chop them up, season them well, make a little tinfoil envelope, cook them around, I don't know, 380, 400 for 15 to 18 minutes, shaking them every, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to move them around and not, cook them to Satan temperature. So that's all that. Very good. Y'all, that's going to be dinner for tonight. I don't know what I'm going to do with this mess that I have on the stove. So let me get that. Give me just a minute. Let me get some of that, and I'll show you what I made. All right, y'all. Check out this concoction. So I don't know what inspired me, but I decided I was going to make a cheeseburger casserole pasta one pot kind of dish. But I did, well, let's just talk this out. So I browned that hamburger that I bought, drained that, and then sauteed some onion, dumped 2 cups of beef bouillon into that. And I used that better than bouillon. So I dumped in 2 cups of water and then added the bouillon. And then added a big old can of crushed tomatoes and some tomato sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, some Dijon mustard. Now you're supposed to put in ketchup. I didn't put in any ketchup because I knew I was going to add pasta. So Dijon mustard, Worcestershire sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, and I seasoned my meat real good with some garlic powder in the hamburger as well. So hopefully lots of seasoning, because I feel like when I use crushed tomatoes, things just come out kind of bland. So threw in the seasoning and then dumped in that box of protein pasta that I bought. And that was 12 ounces of pasta. So I threw that in and poured in about a cup of water. Mix that up, and you're supposed to you're supposed to have already put the hamburger back in and let it cook down. But I don't know, I was worried that the hamburger would get like tough or weird or something. So didn't put the hamburger back in yet. Let it come to a boil, cut the heat down some, covered it up, and let it cook a good like 20 minutes until the pasta was getting close to getting done. Then I added my hamburger back in, mixed it up, let it cook down some more, and here's what we got. Now, I know it's going to need some salt, and you're supposed to add cheese to it because it's supposed to be like a cheeseburger thing, so you're supposed to add like cheese and tomatoes and pickles and a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to put a bunch of stuff in it. I just want to taste it first. Like I said, I always feel like crushed tomatoes make stuff like bland for me. So I'm already pretty sure I'm going to want to add some salt, but I want to taste it first and just see what we got. It is tasty and bland. So I'm going to add some salt. And the rest, I didn't calculate the points, but the recipe says it's 10 points. And I'm not sure if they did the 98% lean ground beef, but they did regular pasta and they put ketchup in it. So I'm going to say mine's a little less than that. That's good, y'all. I'm going to throw some fat-free cheese on that, fat-free cheddar cheese, and that's going to be really good. All right, y'all, that's it for my spring dishes so far. We did some grilling, We got some weird cheeseburger thing on the stove. Let me know in the comments, is it spring where you are? Because y'all can see it's not quite spring here yet. If so, what are you doing to celebrate spring? Have you changed your menu at all? Are you grilling? What are you doing for spring? And please let me know, do you use any kind of electrolyte supplements, electrolyte drinks, electrolyte anything? If you're working out regularly, do you find that you need electrolyte supplements? And if so, which ones are you using? Let us know in the comments. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos at the beginning of every week with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.